Good morning, boys and girls. It's time for social science. This week we finish unit number 5, work. We learned all about different jobs. A job is just an activity that people do for money. Let's remember the most important things we learned. Look at your notebook here. Social Science Notebook, 3rd term. On the 15th of April, we started Unit 5, and we wrote different examples of jobs. Next, we continue to learn about the 3 sectors. We divide all jobs into 3 sectors, or 3 groups. The first is the primary sector. Now, the primary sector includes all jobs where people work with nature. If you remember, I made a chain, and some of you made a chain, and the first part is the primary sector. I use the color green because green is the color of trees and nature, and the primary sector includes jobs where people work with nature. For example, farming or fishing or mining. People work to take materials from nature. Then we continued to learn about the secondary sector. The secondary sector includes all jobs where workers transform natural materials into products. I use the color red because in the secondary sector, normally we have factories. And in factories, there's fire and heat. They cook things, they make things, they do things. And in my chain, you can see the second part is the secondary sector, and it's red. For example, if you make a pencil, they take wood, wood goes to a factory, and they make a pencil. That process where they make the product of the pencil in this example is a job in the secondary sector. Next, we learned about the tertiary sector. It includes all jobs where people give a service. Now, the tertiary sector is the 3rd part in our chain. I use the color yellow because yellow is the color of the sun, it's the color of emojis and happy faces, and a service is something that makes people happy. People give a service to do something that's important. For example, well, if you're a teacher, I help to teach people to learn. If you are a doctor, you give a service that helps people to be healthy. Right? And there are many more examples. So the tertiary sector gives services. Primary, secondary, tertiary. Right? It's a chain. Also, we learned that there are not many people that work in the primary sector, only 5% in Spain. 30% of the population works in the secondary sector and 65% more work in the tertiary sector. We did 2 graphs. We did a bar graph and a pie graph. And this shows us that really there aren't many people in the primary sector, 5%. There are more in the secondary and the most is in the tertiary sector. But all 3 are very important. In our last class, we learned about transforming products. For example, we know that potatoes are made into crisps. In the primary sector, farmers grow potatoes. In the secondary sector, factory workers make the crisps. And in the tertiary sector, workers transport and sell the crisps. Again, it's a chain. Primary, secondary, tertiary. And it's not only for crisps, it's for everything. Martina showed us a nice video about lemonade. In the primary sector, farmers grow the lemons. In the secondary sector, workers make the lemonade. In the tertiary sector, they transport and sell the lemonade. And finally, today, our last class, you have to do this mind map. You can see there are different colors. There's green for the primary sector, red for the secondary sector, yellow for the tertiary sector, just like our chain. And there are some examples. when you copy this, remember that each part is not just a word, it's an idea. An idea. Unit 5 work. We can divide all jobs into 3 economic sectors. The primary sector, nature. Secondary sector, products. Tertiary sector, services. And then the rest are just examples. Okay? Well, you've worked very hard. Good job, boys and girls. You are now finished with unit number 5, and you've learned all about work and the primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector.